Hello YouTube, this is Geeky Austin, and today we are going to take a look at the NECA 12-inch head-to-tail Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla stands at about 6¼ inches tall, and here he is along with the NECA 12-inch head-to-tail Godzilla 2001 and 1984 Godzilla. And for those who want a comparison, here he is next to the Bandai Japan Godzilla 2016. Now take a look at detail. The detail on this figure is actually really good, and in my opinion, this is probably the best work that NECA has ever done on their Godzilla figures. You can see all the burn marks, all the scales, all the wrinkles and everything. You can see Godzilla's jagged teeth, his little eyeball there, all the detail in his spines, and all the way up here to the tip of the tail, which has this spiraled look of a spinal cord. It all looks really good. The only bit of detail that's missing, though, that some fans might be disappointed in, the face on the tip of the tail isn't there, but I think that's a little bit of a minor nitpick. And once again, the paint job is also done very well, unlike the SH Monster Arts version. All of the red in the crevices, the wrinkles and everything, it's all not done sloppily. There's no real bleed in the red, except for probably up here in the neck area. But just all around on the figure, it's all done very well, and the red is very fluorescent. It really does pop under certain lighting, especially on the back, and you can kind of see it deep inside the spines. They got a bit of a lighter shade of red with a little bit of orange mixed in on the insides of the spines there. And the only other bit of paint on him, they put some yellow here on this spot here for bones, but I will have to say they could have done a better job, because it just looks like pieces of chips or whatever are glued to his tail or something. I think they could have done a better job right there. So yeah, paint job and detail, I think this is probably NECA's best work. And as for articulation, the head is on a ball joint. It can move up about that far, and again down as much as I had it right there. It can go left to right about that much. It's kind of limited, not too bad. The jaw is on a hinge, which if you stretch the head out far enough, you can get this dang thing to open up ridiculously very far. The neck is also on a ball joint, and it has a lot better movement than the head. You can get it to move side to side about that much. It can go up about that high, and you can bring it down about that far, so you can actually replicate the atomic breath scene if you wanted to with the figure. The arms are on ball joints as well, which can go out about that far and about that much. It's very limited, but then again, this version of Godzilla, his arms are not very useful. And they can you can almost rotate it all around, but as you can hear from that squeaking, yeah, a lot of the plastic and everything is getting in the way. The shoulders are on ball hinges, so they can go in about that far, out about that much, and you can rotate the arm all the way around. Same as the hand is on a ball hinge. You can rotate the hand all the way around, and You can go in about that much and out about that. One second. In about that much and out about that far. So yeah, the arms are not very posable, but then again, with this version of Godzilla, his arms weren't that useful anyways. The torso is also on a ball joint, and again, it's not a whole lot you can do with it either. It's kind of tight, but with a little bit of effort, you can get it to move about that much left to right. And in the up and down area, again, not a whole lot. About maybe that much. If someone can actually do it better, it's possible. But then you notice the other thing too. Yeah, the joints on this figure, they loosen up very easily. I'll explain about that more once we get to the tail. The legs are also on ball joints, and you can swivel out about that much right there, and you can spread them out about that much. Not a whole lot, because once again, a lot of the vinyl and detail and everything is getting in the way. So, articulation wise, yeah, this figure is very limited on its movement, which, again, for the movie, it makes sense. The knees are on ball hinges, which, let me see. Yeah, you can rotate around about that much. And the hinges, with the hinges right there, you can pull the legs out about that much right there at the knee, in about that far. As for the feet, once again, I'm assuming they're on ball joints as well. Yeah, they're on ball joints, but very limited. You can go up and down about that much. You got a little bit of an ankle rocker. It's not very well, but it's there. And yeah, you can swivel them all the way around. And the last bit, the tail, it's on ball joints here, 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 and here. And the rest of this up to the tip right there is on a bendy wire. And with that right there, yeah, you do get some movement, but some of that might disappoint off some people, is that if you try to spread the tail out, you get these ugly gaps. And that's not unavoidable. There's nothing you can do about that. And again, yeah, the tail is on a basic bendy wire, so you can put it in about any pose you want. And now I talked about the articulation. This here is what the downside of it is, as I stated with the torso. NECA seemed to have done a good job on detail and everything, but for the articulation, it seems that they used maybe some sort of weak plastic, or they just did not expect for the heaviness of the material. Because yeah, a lot of the material on this figure is a little bit heavy, especially on the tail. Because of that, I think that's what's wrong. As you could probably notice, just by me doing that there, I'm barely touching it. The joints in the tail especially, they're very limited. But yeah, the joints in the tail, they are very loose, and as I stated before, I do believe that is because the plastic they use on the ball joints, I think they didn't use very well plastic. But other than that aside, you can still get a decent amount of movement out of the tail still. And as for accessories wise, this figure once again does not come with any, which is what you expect from the NECA figures, but I actually do kind of wish that he came with an atomic beam or something like that. It would have looked really cool with this figure. Overall, this figure is really good. The paint and the detail on it is nice. The articulation is a bit limited and loose, but once again, it's okay. And the scale is nice enough for any other Godzilla figure if you want to put them in there. And for a $25 figure, this is very nice, and in my opinion, it looks a lot better than the SH Monster Arts version. So if you want a version of the 2016 Shin Godzilla, this would be the figure to get.